Good morning and happy Friday from Low Country Shrimp and Knits. I am Tracy, owner of Low Country Shrimp and Knits, and with me is the absolutely fabulous Judi from Maggie Loves Yarn, and this is Irreverent Knits. So we've survived another week, and yet...
Oh, you survived more than a week.
Oh my God. Can I just tell you?
Happy birthday.
I know! Yesterday was 1 year of my shop.
I brought you something.
You did?
I did.
Oh, you're so cute.
I have this hanging up in my room, and it always brings me happiness. So I don't know whether you want to hang it up in here or in your room that brings you happiness, your sewing room, but you must have one of these signs.
You're so cute. Street girls bringing in sailors must pay for room in advance.
That's my favorite sign. It's hanging up in my room.
Thank you. Well, it's probably going to go right over that door. So, thank you. I love this.
Gordon was at an auction, and in the box of a lot that he bought, there was a bunch of those. I'm taking those. And I only give them to special people. So there's one in my room, and now you can have one too.
Thank you. Yes. No. I love it. I love it. So let me tell you this. You know, my life, I don't know why, it's always complete chaos. And sometimes I just do it to myself, and other times it's the universe that is providing the chaos for me. So last Friday, I was just going about my life as I do. My husband is on Facebook, and he's in, I don't know, he sees something on, he goes, "Look at this dog." Now, you have to understand, first and foremost, I have 3 dogs, and sometimes that's about 14 too many. Plus, we have lizards and a hedgehog. And so...
It was my house with the kids growing up.
And I would have more. I mean, I love...
We had dogs, hamsters, rabbits.
Yep. I would have...
parakeet, lizards.
We would have all that. We love them. We love them. My husband was in a household where they just... It wasn't their thing, right? Like some families just don't... They're too busy. It's pets aren't their thing because pets are a huge commitment. I mean, you can't just up and do anything without worrying about all your babies. So he's looking on Facebook and he's like, "Look at this little Frenchie." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, look how sweet." And his name's Ralphie. Now you have to understand is that we have Loki, we have Gus and Pete.
So it fits right in.
So we're like, he goes, "Imagine little Ralphie sitting on our couch with Pete the dog," because he's a Frenchie and I have a Frenchie. And I'm like, I know, that would be so cute. And I figure, well, okay, that's going to just go away after that. It was just a cute comment. And he keeps going, "I know, but look at him." And I'm like, "Yeah, look at him." He goes, "You should call." I'm like, "What? Like I should call?" Like,
when your husband says it, you do.
And it's never been something he says. And that's what's so crazy about this whole thing, because usually we're like talking to him. I get a picture of him when the girls talked us into lizards after we'd had a couple of drinks and went to the pet store. So he's like, "Yay." But I'm like, okay. So I'm like, why is this Frenchie? The Frenchie's going to be gone. There's no way a Frenchie, and they had it on for like a really inexpensive price, and Frenchies are crazy expensive. And I'm like, something's off. I'm like, it's a scam. It's probably a scam. I'm like, I'll just call. There's probably a scam. Woman calls me right back. She's like, "Oh yeah, la la la." She goes through the whole thing, and long story short, I have another dog.
Frenchie's here today. Frenchie. Ralphie's with
here.
Us. He may come through.
Ralphie, come here. Come here, baby.
Come here, baby.
What are you doing? He's out. He's doing what we call Bluffton Patrol.
He's a crazy aunt.
He likes, "Come here, baby. What are you doing?" So we have our shop dog now, as we're trying to integrate him. So he's
say hi.
There you say hi.
He is.
There you are. Hi, baby. He's very snorty, French bulldog.
Tuesday, that's all I did. I held him all day. We huddled.
Yep, and he loves Aunt Judi, but he is an absolute love. So our challenge...
He should be our sound tech.
We can blame him for all our transgressions. That wasn't me. That was the dog.
Checking sound technician.
And then he makes this weird, I guess, whine. I'm like, what?
It's a squeaker.
It is. He sounds like a mouse. I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's
okay,
a dog.
Baby, I can't hold you all day.
But he would love you too.
I know.
So yeah, so we've got this dog now. He has some challenges. What the story, to my understanding, was he was with this family and they wanted to foster dogs, and I think maybe he got attacked or something happened. where Liz just chimed in. Ralphie needs a sweater. I agree, Liz. I agree. Ralphie needs a sweater, and we're going to make one
here next week.
Yes, come here. We're going to make a sweater in a class. So come in. We're going to make that happen. But anyway, so Ralphie, what we think happened was when they fostered a dog, Ralphie got attacked, and then he became very aggressive to other dogs. So he was with one family for a couple weeks. It just didn't work out. So we rescued him, and he is, hi, let's not use that. That's not yarn for you. I don't even know where you got that. So,
oh God, Maggie loves yarn.
So anyway, now I've got a dog.
Pink. Okay, I think he likes pink.
Yeah. Woo. So anyway, now all of a sudden in my chaos, I've got to try to train a dog to deal with my dogs. So I have had no sleep. But what else is new? But we're on. I got 4 weeks left to the half marathon, and so I'm in like serious training right now, and it's exhausting and stressful. And once I get through that, maybe things will calm down.
Nothing ever calms down with you.
No, I don't know why. I am a whole lot of chaos. How about you? How is all? You know,
I'm good.
Yeah, you just. I gotta say,
chilling.
You brought this scarf in that she made, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So let me show off how cool this is.
God, I made it years ago.
It is so fun.
Probably about 13, 14 years ago.
Look at how much fun it is. It's just got.
I gotta figure out what the pattern name was.
Yeah, I don't know. And I gotta look up this yarn. So you told me this yarn was called Koigu. So
it takes 2 skeins of Koigu.
Also, I don't remember how she can remember all these things. I can't even fathom.
I remember it took 2 skeins of Koigu because I was at Stitches South. And it took 2 skeins of Koigu, and you got the pattern that went with it. So, obviously, I don't have the pattern in my queue or in my library.
Right.
And I don't have it anymore, which means I passed it on to someone else.
Right.
Or I made a copy of it and left it in the copier, which is probably what I did. Because, you know, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
But I can figure it out. I do remember it's just garter stitch, and you cast on, and then each row, you knit down, you come back, and then you
increase, decrease?
I think you start here and you increase, and then you decrease, and then you're back to the beginning.
Yeah.
So you always have like 24 stitches on there, and
That's
then you
cool.
do that. I'll find the pattern. I know it's on Ravelry. I've looked at it several times, and I know it's a paid pattern. But I got it for free.
I don't want to pay for it. I have it free.
But I will.
It's really.
It's a fun one
really
to do.
Fun.
It looks like the potato chip scarf that everybody was doing.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. It's like,
and everybody was like, "Oh, that's the potato chip scarf."
It kind of looks like that, like the stuff that goes around clowns' necks, like the.
Well, yeah,
you know, like
wrap it around.
Yeah,
your
it's
neck.
got that kind of fabulousness about it.
There was a pattern like that in Vogue Knitting one time, and it was like a collar, and it had this all the way around, and it was layers and stuff. And while it was really pretty, I wouldn't do it. And I was sitting there, and an acquaintance of mine, somebody who knitted and came to knitting every so often when we would meet at the coffee shop, she says, "I think I'm going to do this. What do you think?" And I couldn't think of an answer politely, so I went, and she went, "Oh, okay."
We have,
which is just what you did. You knew I was going to say it. You knew. Which is what you did to me with my sweater that I wanted to do and showed you yesterday.
That's what we do. We're dream crushers here. We are dream crushers. She sends us this text. Okay, so Liz, who is this most wonderful, we can't wait for her to show up. She's coming to town on Monday. We're so excited for her to get here.
We've got so much to do next week.
Oh my God! So she's getting here, and she sends us this text like, "Oh my goodness, I have castonitis. I've got 2 sweaters." And so Liz goes, "Well, show me what it is." And so she sends this first sweater, and it's beautiful. It's got all this color work, and it's absolutely beautiful.
I like that one because I thought it was fun.
And so she then she shows us the second one. So I'm going to show you. So this is the sweater. It's kind of.
Please, if you're the designer,
it's kind of hard to see it a little bit.
You better watch what you say.
Yeah. So I was like, I like it, but it looks like an EKG reading on it. So that's all I see.
Yeah, the second one looks like a cardiogram. I'm like, thank you. You spoiled it. Just keeping it real.
So she's like, well, now I can't do it.
Doing that sweater
and I'm
now.
like, you can teach it as a class.
I had the yarn.
You can teach it as a class. And then they do their actual like echocardiogram. Be like, look, I'm still alive. You can tell it's on my sweater.
So I'm not doing it.
So she's not doing it. So I
Forget it.
I
you
ruined
want
that.
a class of that? Screw it. You don't have to go somewhere else. Take your money elsewhere.
I was like, oh, sorry. Well, and I did that before. She's like, look at this sweater. I made it, and I love it. And I'm like, oh, I don't love that.
Well, it's like
everything gets popular, and I'm like, why is this so popular?
the
I'm
Papa
like,
sweater. Well, it's like the shawl I did. And I dyed all the yarn, and it looks like it's like vines with buds on it.
Yeah.
And it's so pretty. But then somebody decided to do. They went, look, it looks like your sweater. They sent it to me, and it was like your shawl, and it was a sweater, and it had them kind of going this way.
Yeah.
And without thinking again, I went, it looks like sperm heading towards the vajayjay. And because of that, I can no longer wear that shawl. It's gorgeous, but every time I look at it, it's sperm. It's sperm.
nice
going
sperm
all
shawl
over the
you got there.
So,
Yeah. Well, you could donate it to like a reproductive
Multicolored
office, an
sperm,
OBGYN. Ooh, fancy sperm.
So, we're our own worst enemy.
We're just dream crushers here.
So you want to do that one too? You're going to have to find someone else. I'm not doing it. I'll dye you the yarn for it, but I'm not doing it. No more sperm.
And we do need to sit down today, Judi, because her yarns. So this again, she's Maggie Loves Yarn, and I can't keep them in. It's okay, baby. You can go outside. I can't keep them in house. Like everybody keeps coming and grabbing them. So if there is something specific that you're looking for, I have some pictures online, but they're going out so quickly. And in fact, I want to grab the one that you just brought in.
My friend Lori's been here, and she uses my dyeing studio to dye long pine needles.
Yeah.
Because she does the baskets. So I just haven't gone in there because I don't want to mix everything up.
No.
When we get back from Oxford.
We'll have to figure this all out.
They don't have plenty of time.
Look at this one. Isn't this gorgeous? It's called Seaweed Forest, and she just brought this one in, and the only reason it hasn't been snagged yet is probably because we just brought it in. But so if this is something, if you love this, just let me know and give me a call here at the shop, and I will put it aside for you.
She leaves tomorrow to go back to her condo in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, okay.
So when we get back from Oxford after next week, I'll have all that. I'll have my studio.
Yeah. But if there's something specific that you've come in, you've looked for, let me know, and then I can definitely put in the request to see if we can get that in the next thing, because I've only got her doing 11 million things, so we can totally add something else.
I can multitask like that.
Absolutely. So
we're women, we can multitask.
We got this. So all right. So nothing too much new here. The only thing that came in was a special order. So I have a friend that comes in, and she likes to make a lot of washcloths, and she makes a lot of coasters and things like that. Really cute, like fish patterns and things. So she was looking for a very thick organic cotton to do potholders. Was it potholders maybe?
I don't know. It says macrame on it.
So because what the thick natural cotton is not easy to come by, because first of all, it's not a lot of people make it. Not a lot of people make it. So this is through Circulo.
13 to 17 needles.
Yep. So these are giant, and so this comes through Circulo. Circulo is based out of Brazil. So a lot of crocheting goes on with this company's products. So if this is something that you're looking for, it is hard to find. I had somebody call me a couple of months ago, and they needed it like immediately for a project, and I just didn't have that turnaround time. But this is something that I can get. Not a ton of colors, but if you're looking for something that's thicker in an organic cotton, let me know. And this is definitely something I can special order for you.
If you want to get back into 70s mode in macrame, that's your baby right there.
And if you want to get into 70s mode in macrame, I got you. So anyway, this is what's going on with this order. So that's as far as what we've got going on here. And I have to report what you saw last week for my pieces, and I'll show you if you weren't around. Has not had one single stitch done to it. So because I've lived a whole life. So here is we talked about my sweater here, which I just love this yarn. I can't wait to start playing with it again. This is the sweater that I've been working through in it is in the Within book, and of course I always blanked on the name of it. What is the name?
Timber.
So this is the one that I'm making, and I've got to separate for sleeves. So I have done 0 on this.
Well, you know what? That's something you learn when you open a shop. I learned it with my quilt shop. You think, oh, I'm going to be able to knit all this stuff.
You don't have time to knit. I have time to breathe. I don't have time to breathe.
You don't have time to knit.
So, and this is normally what I do at night. So this is pressed flowers. And this is normally what I do at night because it's kind of brainless at this point. We're just kind of following the pattern. And I have been training a dog now. So that went right out the window. I've done absolutely no progress at all. So we're going to hand it over to Judi because I know she's been a much better student than I have. What do you got going on with your babies this week?
Just still working on this. I was kind of in a mood for a couple days where I just didn't want to knit anything.
Really?
Yeah, I just kind of ignored everything.
Oh, were you sewing or something?
No.
You just
were I was done with all my customers. I'm free. I'm free for next week. I don't have to worry about anybody when I get back.
Oh my goodness!
And so yeah, I'm still working on this. Talked about steeking yesterday. People were really interested, and I'm telling you, as the more I go on this, it's like, this is nothing.
Is this bottom up?
Yep.
This is bottom up. So let's show. So we are, like I think we talked about last time.
Sorry.
We're going to do a class on steeking, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. But look how pretty. So this is bottom up, and I'll show you the pattern right in just a minute. This does look kind of like a scary monster on the bottom. Is it supposed to be another one of those? And fish bones?
No, I don't know what that
not.
is.
Oh. Because this face looks like a fish.
Noble and beautiful maiden of Sorry.
What?
There you go. It's a mythical, Sorry is a mythical location thought to be among the islands of Gotland or Sayama.
Raw.
That sounds like a Klingon. So yeah, it's like a forest.
Okay, so not fish bones and anything. Okay, so this is the pattern, and it is in knitted Kalevala, which I do carry here at the shop.
Yeah, that's not Klingon.
It's not Klingon, but we just create our own language. We're speaking in tongues here.
My friend Gretchen, hi Gretchen, when she was still living in Atlanta, she tells me about going, and she talks to me she goes, there's this one knitting group, and she'd taken me there before when I visited, and she goes, I don't know, the women are just getting kind of weird. I mean, they're beautiful knitters and everything, but these two women sit over there, and they talk to themselves with this language. I don't even know what country it is. And I'm like, well, what's it sound like? She goes, I don't know. Everything ends with ka-ka-ka. And I went, they're talking Klingon! And she's like, oh, people really do that? I went, if you're nerds, yeah.
People do.
If you're Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory.
People do.
But the way she was describing the word, she goes, and I've met these ladies. Very, very intelligent, very, very nice.
Maybe a little quirky.
Very, very good knitters, but they are on an island all their own.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Klingon. I've never met anybody who actually speaks Klingon.
Well, you know what? I have gotten so frustrated with, let's say, Vernunculus that I also made up a language, or the language I used was so colorful
it was the
that
language of four-letter words.
The FCC
the island of four-letter words. She went to it.
I went there. I was the queen of it.
Yes, you were.
And the FCC would definitely ban this broadcast if I shared with you some of the language that was used. So I do apologize just for thinking those words, because that's.
But here's the thing with it. We're going to talk about
with Vernunculus.
Yes. About the importance of proofreading your patterns when you write them.
When you write them, okay.
Well, because if you don't put a comma in or something, there could be a problem. So
punctuation matters.
My friend is doing Vernunculus, and she's a beautiful knitter. And she comes in yesterday and she says, I don't understand what's going on with this. And I said, okay. Well, she goes, I got to add the sleeves. And it says, okay, so it says from the cast on, you pick up all these stitches and you pick up 4. You know how you always do that.
Yeah, underneath, yeah.
And she goes, no, it's having you pick up 41 more stitches. It has you casting on 41 more stitches. And I'm like, what? And so what it says is,
you're going to have the armpit
it says, from the CO cast on, comma, little k, 41. And I went, Rosalie, it says, from the cast on, comma, knit 41. That means you're going to knit now all the way around. She goes,
that'd be the biggest gaping
maybe
armhole.
I should put my glasses on when I read this stuff. I said grammar does matter.
Grammar matters.
I said, sorry, from an English teacher, yes, grammar and punctuation does.
English and Spanish over here.
Even in your knitting patterns.
Absolutely.
It matters.
Well, and so Vernunculus is kind of like my albatross here. At some point, I'm gonna do it just because it broke me. It broke me. So it has, if you're not familiar with it, it's an absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous pattern. You can do long sleeve, you can do short sleeves. I really wanted to do it in this very fluffy mohair. It's beautiful.
And so many people have done ranunculus.
And so many people. I'm like, oh my God. So I tried.
Sometimes
I tried
you just have a pattern.
I don't know why I can't. I can't do it. And so I tried all this. Okay, let's see. Is this a cast on? Can I do this cast on? And I'm going to Judi because Judi is my expert knitter. I am an intermediate knitter. I have aspirations of expert level. I'm not there yet. So I own it. I got this. But I'm like, all right, what am I doing wrong? So I'm knitting. So I'm casting on. I'm following the directions. So you cast on so much, but there was no give the way that I was doing it. So I'm like, okay, I pulled the whole thing apart. And then I figured it out. I'm like, all right, what am I doing here? Tried it again, ripped it apart, tried it again, ripped it apart. I'm like ready. My husband's like, I thought knitting was relaxing for you. I'm like, it is relaxing. Stop it. Ah! So then I called Judi and like, I don't want to tell you about this. She's like, okay, well just put it aside. I'm like, I already ripped it apart. She's like, okay. So I bring it in. And I'm like, all right, we're going to figure this out, okay? I can handle, like, if you show me what I need to do, I can do it. Like, I can do just about anything with knitting. Just show me how to do it. So she's like, okay, we're going to do that. So I'm like, okay, I got this. So I'm knitting, and I'm just chatting away, and just the two of us, and I'm knitting, and I'm chatting away, and I'm not paying attention. She goes, what are you doing there? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just working on ranunculus. She goes, is that thing going to fit over your head? And I'm like, nope.
So what should I do? I went, rip it out.
So that went the end of ranunculus. I'm like,
Liz knows. We tried that one shawl pattern, and she could figure it out, and I couldn't.
I don't know what my problem is. I don't.
Like a rebus puzzle. I couldn't figure it out.
I just don't know what my problem with it is, and like thousands of people have made this, so clearly the problem is me. Like I get that. I'm like, I don't know what my problem is. So I'm gonna beat this pattern someday. Damn it. But yeah. So that's what's going on. We do have. Are you working on something else too that we want to talk about?
Oh, we want to talk my gangsta.
Oh, how's that coming? Have you worked on that at all?
Yeah.
The Aztec and gangsta.
Where I can divide everything, and we can try the barber things, but it's not there yet.
Woohoo! So
yeah, it's coming. My gangsta Aztec.
Your gangsta Aztec.
People cracked up yesterday.
Oh my God! So this is so beautiful, and I have to say, part of what makes this so beautiful is how soft.
Well, and I like the color choices.
The color choices are lovely, and you know what? I am not a purple person, but I love
That's
this.
more mauve.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. So when I have it like this, it looks like an emu's looking at you. Whoa! So
I keep thinking of the Cyclops.
So,
Is that from the Iliad? The Cyclops. Yeah.
So anyway, it's just beautiful, and Judi does such nice
and I'm excited
color
because I
work.
think my numbers are working out.
Are you so now with this one, because it's mohair? Are you gonna wet block it or just kind of steam kill it? What do you do with the end of this one? It's not mohair. I'm alpaca. Excuse me. So how would you normally? You're gonna beat it. I know you're gonna beat it. I know you're gonna beat it. So and and you've got your beating spoon.
Hand wash in cool water.
Okay.
Lay flat to dry.
How would you do this? Because I haven't worked with this yet. So, and you don't, of course, I don't think the colors will bleed.
No, they're not going to bleed. I very rarely do a total soak.
Really? Why?
Yeah,
Why not?
I don't know, because I'm afraid of it stretching. Because one of the first sweaters I ever did stretch when I did a total soak.
Interesting. Because I'm always afraid it's going to shrink with the total soak, even in the cold water. But I like it, because then I can just go, pin it down,
but
and it's...
on the other hand, I think to get it to really bloom, it's going to need a cold soak.
Yeah.
I will probably soak it, not very long, maybe 30 minutes.
I usually do 20 when I do mine. I don't know why, but somebody told me 20 at some point, and I stuck with it.
And then I will do the stomp.
On the towel?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, so when you wrap it in the towel? Yeah.
That way, we always called that the college dorm stomp, when you had to wash sweaters and there was nowhere to hang them in your college dorm.
Yeah, so you
wrap them down towels.
Yeah. We did that in Spain too.
Them. And I had a roommate that was an idiot, and she left her sweater in the laundry room, and somebody took it, and she was beside herself because it was her favorite sweater. She actually asked the RA if they could go from room to room and look for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No. Like, Okay, let me find another roommate for next semester.
When I lived in Spain, we had a teeny tiny washing machine. It was like literally like this big. It could have gone on the countertop. It was so tiny, but we had no dryer, and it's cold. It's cold in the wintertime, so everything was outside on the line, and then the birds would just come down and then use it as like their personal like pooping station. So we did a lot of the stomp for our stuff too. But
this one definitely, because it really needs to soften.
Yeah.
That one I don't know, because it's going to be a little bit oversized, which is what I want with that one.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't want it to stretch from the water
True. Well, we'll just have to maybe
I will
play with it a little bit.
Thoroughly wet block it.
Yeah. Spray the dickens out of it and then slap it.
I say crap. Spray the shit out of
See
it.
I'm trying to be better, so I'm trying to be better with my cursing.
That's her resolution.
That is my resolution. I'm trying to be.
To learn Chinese waitress cast on. I'm done for the year.
You're done. You've already achieved your goal. My goals are I got to get through this marathon. So this marathon is like my own personal, like, I have to do this because this one I was supposed to run 2 years ago, and then right before I'd done all the training, I was, not as hard as this one, but I went through everything, and then I got COVID and it crushed me. So here a year and a half later was like, I'm just going to be done with it. So I've been training so hard to get this. I just need to get this off of my like personal, like once I pass this, I feel like mentally, okay, I did it. I've now passed my hideous of COVID. And I get to my year here as far as the shop is going. Because when I started to open it, my stepfather, he was the head of marketing department at Bryant University forever and a day. He's like, well, you know that 90% of new businesses fail in the first year. So when I didn't fail in the first year. So I feel like that is coming together. This is my year, people. This is my year. So, how is designing? Last week we talked about Judi. First of all, apparently really offended this woman. We were talking about, oh gosh, I just blanked on the name. What is the name?
Stitch Fiddle.
Stitch Fiddle. So, Judi asked out in the communication world, out in the world of the internet, does anyone have a book on, kind of a guide?
I just wanted to know if there was a set of instructions I could download to read and understand it. And this woman says, no, it's very intuitive. She's the administration. And that's fine. That's fine. I've seen a lot of pretty things on it, and a lot of people have stuck up for it. And then somebody else said, well, I could use, I don't think it's that user-friendly either. And this woman went off. And so the next day, it was still somebody else.
Oh, she started this whole feud. I was like,
Saturday morning, I get up. And on there, I see I'm tagged in it. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm tagged in. And this woman says, I agree with Judi. I don't think it's that easy. And this woman went off again. And so I put on there, I really didn't mean to start a firestorm. I just wanted to know. And she replied, yes, not a good, all I asked was, is there a set of instructions I could download? What is wrong with that?
No, I'm sorry, nothing exists.
And she replied, yeah, not a good way to start with that question, was it?
A simple no would have sufficed.
And then she tried to explain it again.
Did she go off on you?
And I went, you know what? I'm not just off the boat. I knit, I sew, I'm computer friendly, I teach knitting. And finally I just asked a simple question, and I said, I sense you have a hand in this baby, because you get very offensive and defensive when somebody disagrees with you. I said, what question would you want me to start with?
I don't think any. I think it's just she just wants accolades, and
But she's still getting them, and I found a different program.
You know what?
And I put on there, I'm glad I didn't buy a whole year's subscription.
Right.
I only bought a month, $5.
So
I found another one, Chartminder, and it's doing just what I want it to do.
Perfect. So she is building that so we can do our stocking for next year.
And now I can't get out of this group, and it keeps popping up about questions on Facebook. And
she's going to have to block them.
I don't care about you anymore.
You are dead to me. Back off.
And then, oh, yeah, well, I can do it, but I want it written out, and I can follow it step by step by step by step. And then when somebody says, oh, you just do this, and then you punch this, and then it goes in there. No. Look at the corner of your screen, see that, then use that. Then see this here.
I need someone to show me, and then I get it.
If you write it out, I can do that.
Right.
I'm responsible enough, smart enough to be able to do that.
A to B. Okay, got that. Yeah, no, it's people are interesting. People
but then people, I understand it's her baby.
Okay,
I know
but it's not hers.
I know.
So why it's not yours? It's one thing if people come at me like about certain things about my shop. Like there are certain things I'm a little sensitive about, and they come at me, and I get like. But
well, you know what?
But it is my baby.
I have found people who are administrators of Facebook groups become like, this is my baby, I run this group, and how dare you argue with me? There's a couple
how dare you ask a question?
I know, really. There's a couple of them on Facebook that are for Sun City, and sometimes it's like, and well, why do you think we can't do that? Well, if you don't like it, you can just go to another group.
I think, like, okay, I will.
Okay.
Sorry, that's a little sensitive. Okay.
They do. Because they started this group on Facebook. It's theirs. It's like they get to rule their own little world.
It's my dynasty.
Yeah.
And damn you.
How dare you question one of my rules? How dare you? And it's just like, honestly, there's not enough.
I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough energy and time to fight with everybody.
I read it for the entertainment.
Oh, well, that's when I first started Peloton. I joined just the Peloton group in Facebook because I was like, all right, well, I want to learn about the bike because it's I think 6 years old or five, maybe 5 years old when we got it now, but I didn't know anything about it. I didn't take spin classes. It's a whole new program for me. I'm like, well, I'll just join. And then maybe they'll say, hey, here's a feature. Here's this, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. People are so vicious on it that I'm like, oh my God, I can't even read it. It hurts my feelings for what they're saying to other people.
You know what?
Like, what is wrong with you?
Sometimes people they can't read a text. You know what I mean? Like read the room.
Right.
My son can be that way sometimes. He's better now as he's gotten older. If you say something on a text, he reads it the wrong way, and he will become very defensive and snippy. He used to. He doesn't do it that much anymore. And it's like, it's okay. And I realize he can't read the intonation.
Right.
And a lot of people with texts and posts
that is hard to read
cannot
tone.
read that.
There's no tone.
And immediately get...
Oh, yeah. But
up
no,
on their high horse.
They would come out and just, like, somebody
Still
was like...
love you, Chris.
Yes. But, so they would come on these, and I got laughing. I'm like, oh my God, like somebody would be like, why do you need 2 bottles of water with your workout? You shouldn't be drinking. I'm like, what? What do you care? Like, I don't know. People are interesting. So anyway, I'm going to change the topic because this is how we do. Squirrel, go over there. So, we are having this class. Judi made this sweater and I just love it so much. It's called Little Dreamer and it is the most sweet and precious sweater. So we've got this class. It is filling up very quickly. So if this is something that you want to do, I absolutely love it. And it's such a cute, sweet sweater. And you can actually make it in grown-up sizes too. So that may be something that I'm playing with.
Yeah, the grown-up size is called Dream Sweater.
Yeah, and this is Little Dreamer.
And the only thing that's different is every so often they do a row of garden, like a stripe. And I don't like it. I would do it plain.
I would just keep it stockinette then. Yeah, I think I would keep it stockinette.
You know what? I was thinking about doing it, and then I decided it's too sweet for me. It's not me. I put it on. It's like, what are you wearing now?
Yeah, what do you borrow someone's sweater?
A little old lady in a nursing home. That's my bed jacket.
And then, so one of our favorite people, she bought the yarn for it, and the yarn is so beautiful. So what we have here, this one is through Juniper Moon Farms, and this is Harriet, and
which
it
is the same one that
this is. Yeah, exactly. So these 2 yarns are exactly the same, and so she's been making this absolutely beautiful scarf. So we got that going on. But if this is something that you're interested in, I am now out of this color, so I will be happy to order some more if you want.
It is a gorgeous color.
But it's so soft.
And I want to make a sweater out of it, but I keep looking at it with the coffee stain that would immediately go on it within 5 seconds.
Oh my God, I can't wear white. I don't even, it's like just ridiculous. But yeah, it's got this beautiful little fluffy halo. And
it is, and it's nice to work with, and it's got the little dirty birdie feet on it.
I think they're supposed to be stars, but
starburst. But it doesn't always work with the count, and so
they do kind of look like little birdie feet.
Like little dirty birdie feet. I call them
little birdie feet.
And it's got where you do the short row in the back. So if you want to learn color work, it's right there. You want to learn a little, a new stitch. You can learn little dirty birdie feet.
Yep.
And then it does it so that the back hangs down just a little.
Yeah, I love it.
To do that.
I love it. It's so sweet. So we're going to talk today about needles because I have very specific needles that I like to work with. And Judi actually has very different needles that she prefers to work with.
I'm all over the place with needles. Needles are like books to me. Ooh, those look interesting. Let me try those.
But for the most part, and correct me if I'm wrong, circulars are your go-to.
Oh, only circulars.
So you only work with, not even ever straights.
If I'm picking out a stick.
But you would never
use double. No.
Okay, so I see, and to me,
I use those.
Prefer straight needles.
Nope.
All day long. Straight needles are my...
I don't use double pointed needles when it's circular, when I can do the same thing in circulars.
Double points. Okay. So we are going to talk about... We're going to talk about all of those things because, you know what, everyone, you know, and it's funny, especially with newer knitters, you know, and of course, you know, the first thing that I do when I become obsessed with something is go in all these different groups. So we've got all these, you know, Facebook groups, and I can't remember which one. I see this one, and it's just like a knitting forum.
12.
Okay. So the other day someone's like, I've just received all this alpaca hair fur and I've spun it, and now I want to make a hat. What needles do I use? We're like,
well, what size?
Yeah, you know, and you know, it's hats, you know, whatever the pattern is, the needle size is really dependent upon. You
can explain it to them. They don't care. They just want
yarn.
The answer.
Right.
So just say 12.
12. So it's 12.
Well,
whatever it is
because they get
12.
on there too and they go, I want to knit a sweater for my husband. How many stitches should I cast on? That's what they ask.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, come on, people, do your homework.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You got to know what kind of yarn you want. You know, and they go all through that. And I got tired of trying to explain it. So now my answer, thanks Norma Horan, we came up with it 12.
12. So, and for me, it gets a little daunting because people will come into my shop, and I'm just a tiny little place, and so I don't keep patterns here because you know what? Most people use Ravelry, so
you know what?
For me to
most
print
stores
it out,
don't anymore.
Right.
Keep patterns.
For me to print out patterns, and you know, I'm a little tiny baby shop. It costs money with the ink and everything. And if someone buys a pattern, I'll be happy to print it out. I'm not being stingy.
Yeah, you have the program with Ravelry, so when they buy it, it goes into their library and everything else.
Exactly. I'll be very happy. But someone will come in and go, I want to work on a project. I'm like, okay, well, what are you thinking? I don't know. Okay, well, that's a little. Well, is there a yarn you want to work with? I don't know. I'm like, oh, okay, well, okay. So, and I mean, I can't read minds. I don't know what, you know, so it's best to kind of either, so there are definitely two schools of shoppers that I have found. People that come in and find a yarn and then decide a pattern they want to go with it, or people that come in and have a pattern in mind and then try to find the yarn. And so it's...
I do both.
Yeah, I do both.
I come in and go, oh my God, this yarn has to leave with me. I have no idea what I'll ever make with it, but it has to leave with me.
It's calling to me, and I need it to be part of my life. So you know, and once I started, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have a couple different types of needles, and we're just going to kind of see what people need or what they're asking for and grow with that. And so I started off with straight needles. So my choice for straights, I love these Brittany's, okay? They are bamboo. They are from Bryson Distribution, and
feel nice.
they've got this pretty little ends, okay? And I love them because there's enough little bit of a grit to it, so your yarn's not sliding off your needles. You know, especially as a newer knitter, you know, depending on your yarn, you know, when I was first knitting, I didn't know what I was doing. I'd say size 7, I would use size 7. I'd pick out a yarn. I was making scarves, so even if it didn't, the swatch would never have matched because I didn't know what I was doing. But, you know, so anyway, I like these. Now, I also have the very, very long ones, and I don't sell too many of these, but you know what, in my teaching people how to knit, it's interesting to see like how everybody kind of takes to it. I had this one woman this past weekend, she was very tall, and so she was sitting and she was holding one of the needles in her lap, and
they have belts.
There is.
A lot of European knitters use the belt.
Yeah.
And they talk about that because they can rest it in there.
And that's exactly what she was doing. And so I was like, well, let's try these longer needles if that's, you know, that's not how I work with it, and that's okay. And then I had this one woman, she came in and she had a huge, she was making this beautiful, beautiful blanket, and there was a mistake down, like she dropped a stitch or something down low, and she had these giant needles, and I'm trying to like help her fix it. And I should have just taken my needles out and used those, but I was trying to use her stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, these knees are killing me, and because she puts them underneath her armpits.
I've seen that too.
So these are, I mean, and none of this is wrong. None of this is wrong. Whatever works for you, God love you. Do it. Okay? But these are too long for me, the way I knit. But I do love these. Now, I have found people love Addies. So I got these because, look, they're so cute. They have these little hearts on the end, and I went with 6s and 8s because those are the most popular sizes I sell. But to me, metal needles are slippery. And so
that's what Addie was meant to be. Addie was meant for faster knitting.
Right.
So that was their whole, I don't know whether, you know, they've come out with others since then, but when they first started with Addies, that was what they wanted to do.
Well, and they
used the Addie turbos, which were like...
Right.
And I was starting out, it scared the crap out of me. And I tried it and I was like,
whoa, this is too much fire for me.
So, you know, Addies are like, for me now. I know.
Yeah, so they're a beautiful brand. I get mine through Skasel because you can't buy directly through Addie in the United States. You can only do that abroad. Okay, so in Europe.
I know that.
Yeah, so you can't buy them here. You have to go through Skasel to get them in the United States. So what we were kind of talking about that. Now these are good though if you have a sticky yarn. So if you're working with something like the Biche and Bouche or something like this, which is Lore through Fiber Company, there is a little bit of stickiness to your yarn. So to have a metal needle, if you're working in straights, this would never work in this. But that to me would be a good reason to use that. Look at how cute you are watching the dog, making sure he hasn't escaped or anything.
He was barking a little bit.
He's talking to the neighbors. So anyway, that's kind of my feeling on straights. Now, double pointed, so that's what, but you don't work in straights. Why? Why do you not like straight needles?
I drop them all the time. I just didn't like them. I would try, and then you turn, and it's like, oh, there would they go. You know, you'd have to look for it. It just didn't suit me with what, you know.
I had this wonderful, oh my gosh, she's this beautiful, wonderful woman come in this weekend to learn how to knit, and she was terrific. She picked it up just like this. It was awesome to see. And she comes in on Tuesday, she goes, oh, the puppy's got my needles. And they were like chewed down to little nubs. I'm like, so wooden needles with puppies?
No.
Not the best.
I just never enjoyed it. I couldn't get the tension right or anything else. So.
See, to me,
so I went very quickly to try.
I love it because I can see all of my stitches. So right now I know I need to do these drops. I'm just trying to finish up this
you can do that
sample.
On circular.
See, to me, everything hangs more. So with circulars, and I do work a lot with them because I tend to be making bigger projects. But I don't know, just to me, it doesn't, I guess I learned on straights, so I feel like this is my baby.
That's what you learned on.
Yeah, this is what I learned on, and I use them forever. I mean, like I don't think I even owned circulars until the last, few years. So, so that's that. Now let's talk about
circulars. If you're working on a bigger project, it holds the weight well.
Yes.
So it's not on the needle.
Right.
Because that sometimes can drag it down.
Well, and when I've worked on something like a blanket, even if it's a baby blanket, which I can use some of my bigger needles, after a while, when it gets heavy, it really irritates my hand. And it gives me my...
Purple tunnel.
Yeah, right. And I have arthritis. I get a little bit of arthritis in my hand. So while I do have some of those, the gloves that you can use, and they do help, it's not ideal. So that's my opinion on straights. Now talk about your love for the circulars.
I just love them. What all did I write down?
So you have here, take out the glasses here.
We did advantages, disadvantages.
Advantages and disadvantages. So as far as your advantages, with circulars and fixed interchangeables, things like that.
If you're doing size 1 through 3, they're always fixed. Which I don't know why.
Why? I know. Why would that be?
The Chigu.
Yep.
You can get 1s and 2s that are interchangeables with the little red cables.
The
and
lace.
I do have some of those, and I like those.
Okay.
For socks, I don't know that I would.
Did you
use
do the
them
interchangeable or just the one?
They do interchangeable.
But you don't have those.
I do for socks, but size 1s and 2s.
Gotcha.
And they're okay for socks. Like I said,
because I have the fixed ones.
I like to try them out.
Yeah.
And I like to try them out. These are called the little red something. I don't think I have any with me. And they
little red
are
lace
kind of neat. But you got to be like a really expert knitter to like them. And they're okay. If I had to use them, I don't have any with me. If I had to use them in a pinch, I would.
Yeah.
But see, now I have double pointed needles in here.
Oh.
See, these are from MDK retreat that I went on. And these are the collage square needles.
Those are fun.
And some people like square needles, and it's good for... That was the MDK knitting getaway that Norma and I went on. I use them sometimes to pick up stitches. I use them sometimes to go quick to hold stitches for me if I'm doing something. And I use them for 3 needle bind off. And I use them for picking my nose. Yeah.
Cleaning out earwax, whatever.
Pointing to the dog, stuff that.
Voodoo dolls, whatever.
I do use them for different things like that. Oh, I-cord. I use them sometimes for I-cord.
That makes sense.
But if I didn't have them standing right there looking at me, I would just use them.
Well, when we started doing our sock classes, now I've always just done anything that's small with double points. And to me, while it does make certain things easier, like the top of hats, anything that you need to booties, things that need to be closed as you're decreasing, I just can't keep the needles in the stitches. Like I turn and they go, and then they're gone, and then I have all live stitches.
With me with double point.
That's with double points for me too. So I'm always going with live stitches. I'm like, oh my gosh, and then I'm trying to put them back in, and then I can't remember where I am, and it drives me crazy. So once we started to teach, now I say we, it's Judi that teaches the socks because she loves socks and she's really good at it. And I made almost a sock, and then I decided I'm good.
That's okay.
I'm giving up socks for lunch.
That's okay.
And math. But so we do have these. Okay, not these. These are a little bit longer, but I do have these, the 9-inch ones, double points with the smaller sizes, so that when we teach sock classes here, you can work on these instead of using double pointed needles.
And you know, that's what sews, the 16-inch.
These are 16-inch, yeah.
I tend to go towards the 16-inch.
Instead of the 9.
Yeah. I don't know why. Only because they're on there and they're comfortable and you can slide them and you can see what's going on, and then it's very easy to do this, which is what you should do after you go around with socks. And if you do that with 9, they can
No, yeah, 9 definitely is safe for that.
And they're perfect for hats. You can do, I just gravitate, and I don't have anything wrong with the 9s. I have the 9s and I use them. And the ones I was just talking about that I can't pronounce.
Chagu?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have them in even shorter, and it's fine. But
they make shorter than 9 inches.
Yeah, it was really short, like 7-inch or something like that. And they're fine, but they're fiddly.
Well, yeah, and it's little. So when you're trying to, and that's part of my problem is that when the needles are so tiny and you're really working with very kind of finite space. It's
so
far
maybe
hard for me to see
beginning knitting socks, we should switch to the 16th.
All right.
Because for that reason, when I say this is sock, this is needle number 1, needle number 2,
and 2 different colors.
Yeah, needle number 3. Not only, these are 2 different colors, but I have, even when I use them in other colors, and they're all the same.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I did that was they were out of the Smart Sticks that day when I was at the store, Friends and Fiberworks in Asheville. So I picked up the orange one to go with it.
Yeah.
And I like them both. I love this. This is Knitter's Pride, the orange one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other ones are Smart Sticks.
Mm-hmm. And I like them both. I really do like Smart Sticks. The day you weren't here, and I stole a couple, I was working for you. I was working for you. And I said, I need these.
I know, I can't pay you, but sure, go ahead and steal some needles. It's all good.
I paid for it. I needed 7s, and I needed short ones like this. I forget what I was working on.
I have to say, too.
I love them.
So now when I go with my circulars, and I did get it, I splurged on an interchangeable set that I love, Knitter's Pride, when I first opened the shop. Because I'm like...
I like Knitter's Pride.
I love it. And you know what? They're very pointy. So I do like these if I have to go outside of the kit.
Those are my go-to also. I like those. I don't walk by them. If I need a pair of a pair of needles, and I'm somewhere, I'll go, I'll get those.
Yes, and I love Chagu. These are the lace ones, so they are pointy. So the only challenge I'm going to say is because, if you're working with splitty yarn, the pointy ones can definitely then add to the splittiness because you poke right through it.
Yeah, you got to be
That's
careful
definitely something to be as a challenge, but I don't care. I'm just like, just take it out, or I pull it down the road when I come back across, and I'm like, oops, split that, and I kind of pull it back together. The other ones that we have here at the shop are Dreams, and this is also Knitter's Pride, and they've got some pretty little colors, and I have to say I do like these. They're not as pointy. They are pointy, but not as pointy as the Chagu lace weight. but they have a little bit of stickiness to them as well. So therefore, you're not dropping, stitches because they've slipped off the needle, at least, in that case.
The one I want you to try from Knitter's Pride is the carbons. I really like those. I think you'd like
carbons.
Those too. And then you got these in.
Yes.
Remember? I don't think you have any more.
No, it was somebody had done a special order, but I had to order 3 of them in order to make this happen.
I wanted to try them.
These are the Likies.
Yeah. And you know what? I did use them. What was the one I was using these for that I just finished up?
Was it a scarf or a cowl or something? Because it's little.
Maybe
shorter cord.
For the start of this or whatever, and then switch. I can't remember when I was using this. I know I'm going to use it again because I've got them saved. So probably this. But you know what? Because remember I said I had trouble with them staying on.
Yeah.
And now they do. They're tight. But I found as you use them, they're sharp. They work fine. Your hand starts to smell like that metal.
Well, I mean, they're copper, right?
Yeah, they're copper. So your hand starts to smell like it. I mean, even now, me just doing this, I can smell. So the more
what would be the benefit of the copper over just a regular?
Some people like them because of the weight, they said, and also because they are very, very smooth and they slide very well, and you could get the shorter needles, and they're okay. Like I said, I used them in a pinch because I needed something really quick.
Yeah.
And I like them.
Are they worth the extra money?
No.
No, because they are pricier.
I would buy the carbons at the extra price. They're really nice. They're so light, and if you accidentally shut one in a drawer, it bends right back.
Oh, excellent!
Follow me for more knitting tips. When you look over and your needle is sticking out of the linen drawer there next to the fireplace, you go. And you pull it out, and it's bent right here. It's like, what can I do with that? It bends right back.
Okay, and it didn't snap off. Interesting.
Nope, it didn't snap off, and you have to really look for it.
Interesting. Interesting.
And I like the cables and smart sticks. Let's talk about smart sticks.
All right.
Because they've become my new baby.
So you have them over here. I didn't bring them. You were just playing with. So yes. This one, she loves these smart sticks. And so she's like, get these smart sticks. Now, what is cool about smart sticks is that here it's going to show you the inch. So this is 1 inch, 1 inch. So if you're working with trying to get your gauge, and so you can see, it's kind of hard to see here, but the information is on the cable. So that is cool.
If you're doing, especially if you're the type that does how many wraps per inch. I mean, they mean nothing to me, but I wanted to try them because I read a lot about it.
They do have a little bit of a point. They're not super sharp. Whereas I've had a couple people go, I don't like those needles. They poke me, and I had to bandage my hand. I'm like, that's not happened to me, but I can see it. I can see it happening.
If I'm sewing for someone, doing one of my cushions for a customer, and I accidentally stick a pin in my, God, I'm constantly sticking my pins in my hands. I OxyClean and Band-Aids because you bleed on.
See us for some acupuncture if you would need.
So it'll like not cut it but split it,
Sure.
And if I'm knitting and turning and doing color work or whatever, I hit that constantly.
Ooh.
And it hurts so bad. And even with the smart sticks. Now see, I find the smart sticks pretty sharp.
See, to me, they're not that...
and they're great because they don't split the yarn, but I mean, it's perfect for stuff like this. And like I said, what size did I buy? The 7s? Because I needed 2 7s. And the cable was, some people go, I don't like the cable because it sticks. It didn't stick on
that's what I felt. I felt like as you got
them.
Close to the needle, I always had to kind of pull it over that piece.
I don't remember what I was working on here that day, but I was working on something and I needed them. And so... I got, maybe it was the sleeves on Islington. I don't remember.
It could be. I don't remember either.
So anyways, I got them, and I said, I'm just going to get these 2 right here. They were either 4s or 7s. I loved them.
Yeah.
I loved them.
She loves
them. I really do.
So
they're lightweight.
So that's, so I've got a couple different brands. So I'm trying to see which ones sell better because the prices are different. And, so some people are really in this direction. Some people are in this direction. I sold a set of interchangeable needles, and they had the 3-inch tips, and then they wanted shorter 2-inch tips. So it's really interesting to see.
I have some that are the really short tips.
Yeah.
And they're okay. I like about this size.
Yeah, I think I like the 3-inch. Just give me a little bit of.
The ones like on this, that's good too, because it helps you in the round to get it all the way around, you
right.
know. And these are fine too. These don't bother me.
But I do find that if I'm knitting something that's small, you know, like a hat, as you get into it, then that extra bit of needle can certainly add yardage to, you know.
Yeah, see, I would do all the way to the end with these. No problem.
All right.
With the 16-inch.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, again, it's just, you just learn what's comfortable and what's not.
What you like, what works for you.
Because people go, I could never use 2 circulars. Well, you know, you mark in the front, which is the beginning of the round, with, excuse me, a little marking pen.
So here we've got tons of these.
Or in the case of what I do, and if I'm knitting with 3s, they're all the same cable color.
Yeah.
Or else you use different cable colors.
Well, and then there's a set that I got to play with because, again, people that it's very polemic. So people either really love double points or they do not love double points, and they're very, very loud about the fact that they love it or don't love it.
I'm not that loud.
No, you're not. Well, we are loud. Don't say that. It's lies.
I just don't like them.
So I got these to try. So these are also from Skasel. These are Addies, and these are called Flexi Flips. So they are used as double pointed needles, as you can see. These are double points, and they just have a tiny bit of a cord in the middle here.
Keep it from sliding off.
And it's to keep it from sliding off. So this would be something that I would want to try. I haven't used these yet because I haven't needed anything too small. But this would be one way that possibly, you know, you could kind of keep your stuff on without them slipping off. That's always my biggest reason to swear.
Well, and I asked the shop owner who had gotten them in, that I used to go to a lot.
Yep.
And I said, so, and I noticed they weren't selling. And I said, so do the people like them? She goes, it's really weird. If you've knitted all your life with double points and you know how to use them, those drive you nuts and they don't like them.
Right.
If you've never done double points and you want to try, those are perfect. So, it just depends.
And you know what? They don't make them terribly big. I think they only start, I want to say they stop at 7s. So there's not, you know, if you were looking for something with bigger, if you're using chunky yarn, then you wouldn't be able to use these anyway.
Do something and they said, here's a gun to your head, you have to use double pointed needles, I would use those.
Right, right. A lot of times we knit under duress with an active gunshot. All right, so that, you know, that's kind of our opinion about needles. And if there is something that you're looking for, like I said, I work with Bryson, and they have a lot of really great products. So I'm not averse to trying different things. This is just kind of what we're finding out in our first year of being our little shoppy. One last thing I want to make sure we're talking about is we've got this great couple classes coming up. So the first one that I want to talk about is our dog sweater class. It's so cute. Look at this baby make this little sweater. Your best friend needs something, okay? And why don't you show off your mad skills for your baby? So Liz from Simply Made by Liz is going to be in town, so we're so lucky she's going to teach this class. So if this is something you want to learn, she said advanced beginner. So I mean, but it really is stockinette and a little bit of ribbing, and then the hardest part I think would just be kind of these little leg holes.
I probably wouldn't put them on Maggie's.
Like, you know, you don't need to.
Her legs are so long.
Yeah.
To get her to bend her leg, to
put
get
her leg in there.
She's like, no.
Yeah.
So, but I would just put the cuff.
Just
cuff it.
Just cuff it. So those are things that we can work on. So it is for a little doggy, a smaller doggy that we can do. So yeah, so we got this coming up in a few weeks. I believe it's the 28th. 29th. Yeah, 28th. So we've got that coming up. We also have, this is if you are in crochet and would like to kind of work on, we have 2 market bags that we're going to be doing coming up here. This is one, and it is made, the cotton that is used is so soft and it's wonderful, and it's really good. It's only like $4 for this, you know, little guy. But and then we've got this one, which is a great bag here. The yarn is beautiful for it, and all machine washable for this one. This one is with Vivo from Barocco. So we've got this one coming up. And I showed you our little dream sweater. And then the other one I'm so excited about is 3-week series or 3-class series for Intro to Color Work. So we're really, Judi is she's so good. She's so good. I love her. I just love her. So she's going to start off the first class. We're going to talk about just figuring out how to use different colors. There is like a pillow and a blanket series where they've got all these different houses. So we're going to work on this. It's a great scrap buster, how to use these.
This is just how to get used to color work, because this one goes actually sideways. So you're doing this. So we're going to learn how to, you just drop the needle and come back and pick it up, and then how to carry it on, how to do stripes in it. Nothing really hard, just to say, look at me, I did color work. And it wasn't hard.
And if you love it, then you can continue and make the blanket or the pillow or what have you, or coasters or something like that.
We'll work on this little while, and then I'll get you started on, well, then we're going to talk about.
So then this is the next class, right?
Yep.
So the next class we're going to do is, we're going to talk about we're going to make a little mug cozy, okay?
And when you finish it, it'll have like a neckband on it, like a little, what do you call those, front of cardigans, the bands.
The
button band.
Button band?
And you'll put a button on it, and then you'll be able to fit it around your coffee cup.
But this is also going to be our intro to steeking. So you're going to start this here, and we're going to teach you how to steek without screaming. I still probably am going to scream, but I'm just saying.
You know what? And it's little, and if you screw it up, you can do this with, your leftover yarn from this.
Yes.
And you won't cry and say, I spent all this money and it didn't work. You can go, oh, okay. I hate sticking. Like, how else you go? That was really fun.
It wasn't as scary as I thought.
Do a whole sweater.
And then we're going to work with these. Oh, they're so beautiful, so I probably can't give them back to you because I love them so much. But we're going to make different color work.
We don't have the coffee facet one here, and I need to. Kay Fawcett one. Because this one is carrying.
Yeah, so we've got, I don't know if I showed you these two. Look at how pretty. And I love this one. So this one's so pretty. So we're going to work on different now, getting a little more into colorworks, how to carry your floats, how to make sure that you got it all squared away. And so it's not a big, giant, daunting project right out of the gates, that we're going to work on it slowly so that you can get your going.
Yeah, and all that is just teaching yourself how to do it.
Teaching yourself how to do it.
It's interesting because the custom color work sock book that you have, she talks about that. And I do this, and ever since she mentioned it, I noticed. But with this, it tightens up when you block it. And she doesn't, a lot of people don't block their socks.
Yeah.
And she says she does not do the two because she finds she cannot make this tension as tight as her right hand, her dominant hand. And what I have found while doing this is when I change the color, I find myself now, I guess because I've done it enough now, tugging it a little bit, just doing it a little extra.
A subconscious
and it
tug.
pulls it, yeah. And it pulls it along. And so she says, so if you can't master this, it's still not a problem. You can still do it all in this right hand.
We'll figure
it out. It's all of figuring out where to put the color.
All muscle memory.
Throw it.
Muscle
How
memory.
to wrap it so you carry it along.
It's all happening here. So if those are things you're interested in, or if there's a class that you really would like to, and actually have someone coming in next week for tutoring. So we got it all here. We got it all. So that is a very fast hour. Can you believe it?
It was.
Yeah, it was a very fast hour.
Today.
We were a delight today. Hope you enjoyed
met
it.
Ralphie. You got a present.
All I know. I got my present.
We were laughing about something.
I don't know. It's how we do. But me ruining your sweater,
that
probably.
Was it. My sweater spoiler.
So I'm
going to wait till you're watching the TV show.
Ruin it. So anyway, so have a fabulous, fabulous week. If there's something that you're looking forward to, let us know. And if you need something, you can always reach out. We are at shrimpandknits.com. And thank you for supporting us. We really do appreciate it. And if you like us, make sure you share us and subscribe to our channel so that you can get the latest and greatest of our smart acidness. Is that a word?
Yes.
Okay, it is now smart acidness here at Irreverent Knits.
Look it up in the dictionary, our pictures right there.
Yeah, there we are. So anyway, thank you so much. Have a fabulous week, and we'll touch base soon. Take care.